Hi everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at what I'm calling a quantitative analysis of the 2020 general election. So how this is going to work is we're going to be taking a look briefly at each state's polling data. So here I've got 538 open, they have the most amount of polls. So let's have an example here. Take a look at Alabama, and we take a look here. The latest poll here was Trump plus 20. We're just going to be taking a look at the latest poll, and then Trump plus 20. If the result is plus 15 or more, it will be safe for that party. If it's between plus 5 to plus 14, it will be likely for that party, and if it is plus 2 to plus 5, it will be leaning. Sorry, plus 2 to plus 4 will be leaning, and then less than 1%, 1% or less, will be tilt for that party. There will be no toss-up states unless the poll is essentially tied. So, alright, so let's get started. We'll be going in alphabetical order. It's worth noting that states that don't have polling data, for example Arkansas, we'll be taking a look at the results here from 2016. Here we can see Trump won by more than 15%, so then Arkansas would be safe for the Republicans. So Alabama, the latest poll here, Trump plus 20, so that's safe. Moving on to the next state on the list, Alaska. Let's take a look at Alaska. The latest poll has Trump plus 5. That's actually very surprising, actually. Trump plus 5 in Alaska, so that will be likely for Trump. Moving on to Arizona, the latest poll here from Arizona, we've got a Biden plus 4, which would indicate it's leaning towards Biden. Alright, moving on. Arkansas, which we already discussed, is a Trump state, so that would be safe for Trump. Moving on to the state of California, right now the latest poll here, Biden plus 24, so that's safe for California for Biden. Moving on to Colorado, the latest poll here, Biden plus 13, so Colorado is likely to go to Biden. In Connecticut, we have a new poll here, Biden plus 23. So Biden plus 23, so Connecticut being safe for Joe Biden. In Delaware, this is his home state, we have, where's Biden here? Biden plus 16, so that plus 16 would be safe. That's actually quite surprising, he's only winning by 16. Moving on to our next state here, the District of Columbia, so we'll have to go to 2016 results. 90 to 4, so obviously that is safe for Hillary Clinton. Let's just try and readjust that. Perfect. Moving on to the state of Florida, we have some polling data here. Biden plus 3. Biden plus 3 would be a leaning Biden situation. Moving on to the state of Georgia, Biden plus 1 in the latest poll there in Georgia. Now, most of the recent polls do have Trump leading, but again, we do have to give this as a tilt to Joe Biden. Moving on to the next state we've got on this list, Guam does not vote, Hawaii. So let's take a look at the 2016 results in Hawaii, 62 to 30, so that being safe for Joe Biden. Moving on to the next state, we've got Idaho and then Illinois. Idaho is safe for Trump, Illinois safe for Biden. So Idaho safe for Trump, Illinois safe for Biden. Moving on to the state of Indiana, we have a new poll here, Trump plus 10. Trump plus 10. This indicates that it's likely to go to the current president. In Iowa, we have some new polling data out, Trump plus 1. Yeah, that's very interesting. Right, so this is an interesting situation because all of these polls show Trump leading by much bigger margins than 1. However, much bigger margins than 2. But I'm gonna have to give this over because we already said that the top poll will be the one that counts. This one's also being done quite recently. So Trump +1 indicates this is a tilt for Donald Trump. In the state of Kansas, we have a new poll, Trump +12. So Trump +12, that's likely to go to Trump in that situation. Kentucky, Trump +16. So that would be a safe situation for Donald Trump. In Louisiana, we unfortunately don't have polling data, so we'll have to take a look at 2016 results. Here, 58-38, so that goes to Donald Trump. Right, moving on to the state of Maine. I believe all of these would be Maine at-large situations. So Biden +10 in the Maine at-large. So Biden +10 would be a likely situation. But we don't have any polling, or not that I know of, on the 2 congressional districts. So we'll have to take a look at 2016 results to know. First congressional district, 53-39. I believe that means it's a likely for Joe Biden. And then the second district, 51-40, that would be a likely for Donald Trump. So all of those are likely, but for different parties. Right, in the state of Maryland, we've got a new poll, Biden up 24, so Biden obviously wins in Maryland. In the state of Massachusetts, 34, so that would indicate Biden leading in Massachusetts by a safe situation. In the state of Michigan, Biden +2 in the latest poll. Again, some of these have different results, and these are more reliable polls actually. But we have to take the most recent one because that's just the most easy way on 538. Biden +2 in Michigan, so that would mean it's leaning towards Biden. In the state of Minnesota, we have a new poll, Biden at +5. I believe we said the cutoff was 5, so that means it's a likely to go to Joe Biden. In the state of Mississippi, Trump +11. Wow, so Biden's actually competitive in Mississippi. That means it's likely to go to Donald Trump. In the state of Missouri, the latest poll here, again, even though Biden only +10, Trump +7, we are taking the most recent poll into account. So in the state of, Missouri, we can see a leaning situation for Donald Trump. Sorry about that, excuse me. Moving on to the state of Montana, the latest poll from Montana State University Bozeman / University of Denver has Trump +6 in Montana, so there we go. Trump +6 would be a likely for Donald Trump. In Nebraska, unfortunately, we don't have any polls, so we'll have to rely on this 2016 result. 58-33, 56-35, 73-19, all of those there would be safe for Donald Trump, except Congressional District 2. Sorry about that. Congressional District 2 was 47-44, 47-16, 44-92 would be pretty much 15, and then minus it off. I'm pretty sure that we'd be looking at a lean, if my math is correct, a lean for Donald Trump in Nebraska's 2nd District. In Nevada, we have a new poll here, Biden up 4, so Nevada would be leaning to go to Biden. Leaning. And then after Nevada, we will go to New Hampshire. Latest poll has Biden +8, so Biden would be likely in New Hampshire. And then in New Jersey, we have Biden up 23, so that's safe for the former vice president. In New Mexico, we've got a poll here that says Biden at +12, so let's go down to that, and that would be likely for Joe Biden. It's worth noting at this point that Biden has a very comfortable lead on Donald Trump. Moving on to the state of New York, Biden +25, so that's safe for Joe Biden, and we're almost coming to the end here. North Carolina, right now, Biden +4, and I believe that puts him over the edge, so that would be leaning for Joe Biden over the edge, 280 to right now 86 there for Donald Trump. So right now, not looking too good for Trump, but I mean, Right now, the polls show a very favorable Biden victory in November. Moving on to North Dakota, Biden plus 17 there. So that would be safe for Donald Trump. Northern Mariana Islands, that's not a state. Ohio, right. This is another interesting situation here. Some of these show Trump up by pretty big margins, but again, we're going to have to give this one to Trump. Oh, sorry. No, we have a more recent poll here. Biden plus 2, so that does mean Ohio is leaning to Biden at this point. Oklahoma, we have a poll here by Trump plus 24, sorry, so that's safe. Moving on to Oregon, where we don't have any polling, so we'll have to take a look here. 2016 results. Oregon 50 to 39. Wait, really? 50 to 39? That's 11 points. So that actually means Oregon is a likely for Joe Biden. That's actually quite surprising. In Pennsylvania, this is one of the most important swing states. Well, you know, even though a lot of these polls have Biden leading, we're going to need to give it to Trump because the most recent poll here, Trump is leading plus 4. So that's actually a pretty good lead. So Pennsylvania leans towards Donald Trump. In Rhode Island, we don't have polling, so 54 to 38. 54.40 to minus 38.90. I think 54.38. I think you're probably looking at a 55. Yeah, I think you're looking at a more than 15 points. So Rhode Island, safe for Joe Biden. In South Carolina, the latest poll, Trump plus 10. That's quite small actually. Well, Trump plus 10 in South Carolina, so that likely to go to Donald Trump. Moving on here in South Dakota, we've got some 2016 results, 61-31, so that's safe for Donald Trump. In the state of Tennessee, Trump plus 17, so that's a safe situation. Let's run through the rest of these relatively quickly. In Texas, oh wow, it looks like we've got a perfectly matched state. Public policy polling 48-48 even, and again, a lot of the more recent polls do have Trump leading, but we're gonna need to give that as a pure toss-up because it's actually tied even. They're all tied up in Texas. Utah, Trump plus 3, so that is a leaning situation. In the state of Vermont, unfortunately, no polling there. 56 to 30, so that's safe for Joe Biden. In the state of Virginia, let's take a look at that. Biden plus 12, so that's a likely situation in Virginia. A few more states left. Washington, Biden plus 22, so that's safe for Joe Biden. In West Virginia, we have Trump plus 35, so that's a safe situation for Trump. And last state, Wisconsin and then Wyoming. Biden plus, Biden plus 9 in Wisconsin, so that's likely for Joe Biden. And then in Wyoming, we've got 67-21, so then you could see Donald Trump taking that in a safe margin. So I'd just like to reiterate one thing with this map. This is not my prediction. If I were to do my prediction, I would have a lot of things switching over to Republican hands, a lot of things in the South especially, and a lot of places that the polling, I think, are undervaluing the Republican strength, and I think overvaluing the Democratic strength as well. So that's pretty much it, guys. 347 to 153 is the 2020 election, purely based on the polling data, and again, not my prediction. I'm sure someone's gonna say, you know, this dude which says Biden's gonna win in a more than, you know, almost more than 200 electoral votes. But again, this is not my prediction. All I'm doing is relaying the polls here from 538, the most recent one, since they sadly don't have an aggregate like Real Clear Politics, but the Real Clear Politics poll doesn't have a lot of these other states in it. So I just decided to use 538, and then for ones where they didn't have any polls, it would be this Wikipedia page, which shows all of the results of the states in 2016. So that's it for today's video, guys. Again, not my prediction, just the polls. And if there's no polls, 2016 results. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I think this does show Biden's a big favorite to win in 2020. Good night.